Welcome to today's Tea Time audio story. It's time to slow down, take a deep breath, and enjoy a moment just for you. As you sip your favorite tea, let your mind drift into the world of stories, where imagination comes alive and anything is possible. Listening to audio stories isn't just entertaining, it's also a wonderful way to relax, spark creativity, and improve your English in a natural and enjoyable way. Stories have the power to transport us to far-off places, introduce us to new characters, and remind us of life's little lessons. So whether you're here to unwind, learn something new, or simply enjoy a quiet escape, this is your time. Get comfortable, let your worries melt away, and allow today's story to take you on a journey. Let the magic begin. The waiting room was small, painted in soft, calming colors that felt like they were meant to make her relax. But Leanna wasn't relaxed. She sat stiffly on the edge of her chair, her hands clasped tightly in her lap, fingers twisting nervously. The ticking of the clock on the wall echoed louder than it should have, matching the rhythm of her uneasy heartbeat. This was her choice. She had made the appointment. She had told herself that she needed help, that she couldn't do it alone anymore. But now, faced with the reality of it, she wasn't sure she could go through with it. Talking about food felt harder than anything she had done. Harder than walking into the gym. Harder than facing the scale. Because food wasn't just about hunger or cravings. It was about control. About comfort. About shame. And she didn't know if she was ready to unravel that. But she had promised herself she would try. Just one session. One conversation. The door opened, and a woman stepped into the room. She was older, with kind eyes and a gentle smile. Her presence felt calm, safe. Leanna. Leanna stood, her legs shaky. Yes. I'm Claire. It's good to meet you. Come on in. And with those few words, Leanna took another step forward. The office was cozy, filled with warm light and soft furniture. A shelf of books lined one wall, and a small plant sat on the window ledge. Claire gestured to a chair, and Leanna sat down, her hands still clasped tightly together. Claire sat across from her, a notebook resting on her knee. Thank you for coming today. I know this isn't easy. Leanna managed a weak smile. Yeah. Not easy. Claire nodded gently. Why don't you tell me what brought you here? Leanna hesitated. The words caught in her throat. But she had promised. She had come this far. I guess. I've always struggled with food. With my weight. And lately, I've been trying to change that. But it feels bigger than just eating right or exercising. I feel like food controls me. And I want to understand why. Claire's smile didn't falter. That's a brave thing to say. And it's a good place to start. Leanna swallowed hard. I don't know if it's brave. I'm tired. Tired of the cycle. And that's understandable. We'll take it one step at a time. We'll figure it out together. And for the first time in a long time, Leanna felt the smallest glimmer of hope. The first few sessions were the hardest. Leanna wasn't used to talking about her feelings, especially not about food. She wasn't used to unpacking the reasons why she ate when she wasn't hungry. Why food felt like comfort and punishment all at once. But Claire was patient. She listened without judgment. She asked gentle questions, encouraging Leanna to explore her emotions, her habits, her fears. And slowly, the walls began to crack. Leanna talked about the loneliness. The way food had been her companion on the hardest nights. The way it filled the spaces where acceptance didn't exist. The way it became a way to cope, even when it left her feeling worse. She talked about guilt, about shame, about how every bite felt like a battle, how every meal was a negotiation between hunger and self-loathing. And Claire listened. She didn't offer quick solutions. She didn't tell Leanna to simply stop. She helped her understand. Helped her see that food wasn't the enemy. Food is fuel, Claire said one afternoon. It's nourishment. It's comfort, yes, but it's also survival. It's not about denying yourself. It's about learning to listen to your body. Learning when you're truly hungry, and when you're looking for something else. Leanna frowned. It feels impossible. I don't know if I can tell the difference. You can, Claire said softly. But it takes practice, patience, and kindness. Kindness. The word echoed in Leanna's mind long after the session ended. She started practicing, listening, paying attention. It wasn't perfect. Some days, she still ate too much. Some nights, the cravings won. But other days, she paused. She asked herself why. Why was she reaching for the snack? Was it hunger? Or was it sadness? Boredom? Loneliness? Sometimes, she put the food back. Sometimes, she didn't. But she was learning. Learning that every choice wasn't failure or success. It was information. It was growth. And that felt like progress. Claire introduced her to the idea of intuitive eating. Of listening to hunger cues, of honoring cravings without guilt, of trusting herself to know when enough was enough. It sounded simple. It wasn't. It was uncomfortable. It meant letting go of control. It meant trusting a body that she'd spent years fighting against. But she tried. She took small steps. She let herself eat when she was hungry, without restriction. She learned to savor her food, to enjoy it, to feel when she was satisfied. And when she overate, she didn't punish herself. She didn't starve herself the next day. She forgave. She moved on. It felt like freedom. Messy, imperfect freedom. But freedom, nonetheless. She journaled more. Not about calories or numbers, but about feelings. About how food made her feel, about the emotions that lingered long after a meal. She wrote about hunger and fullness, about craving and satisfaction. She wrote about her victories. About the night she stopped eating when she was full, even though the food tasted good. About the morning she chose what her body wanted, not what the diet rules said she should have. And she wrote about the failures. About the nights when old habits returned, when food became comfort again. But she didn't shame herself for it. She learned from it. Moved forward. Little by little, food lost its power. It wasn't an enemy. It wasn't a weapon. It was just food. There were still hard days. Days when the old fears crept back in, when guilt sat heavy on her shoulders. But those days were fewer. And she faced them with more strength. Because now she had tools. She had understanding. She had compassion for herself. And she had Claire, always reminding her, you are more than what you eat. You are more than a body. You are worthy of kindness. Even from yourself. Especially from yourself. Leanna wasn't perfect. But she was learning. She was growing. And with every step, every choice, every moment of forgiveness, she was freeing herself from the battle. Food wasn't the enemy. Not anymore. Thank you for joining today's Tea Time story. We hope you enjoyed this journey into the world of imagination and storytelling. Whether it made you smile, sparked a new thought, or simply gave you a moment to relax, we're grateful to have shared this time with you. Thank you for listening and being part of our story time. Keep dreaming, keep imagining, and we'll see you again for another magical tale soon. Until next time, take care and happy listening.